Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, Infinity, Jason, Francois, PD, Philip, Valerie, Brian, Randy, JB, Tim, Merle, Darren. Good morning, everybody. If you want to chat with all these fine folks right here, click that button, the subscribe button, click it, and be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can start chatting with everybody. And good morning. Good morning, Terrence. And, well, looks like we might be getting that pullback in the market. Maybe. I don't know who said something about that. Maybe this guy. Hope you're prepared. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out in the zone. And it might be just my voice low. Looks like I've got plenty of sound level on the mic level, so maybe check your level. I don't know. You're having all sorts of problems today, Ben. Rongamer, hey, good morning. I'm just not talking loud, too. So, good morning, everybody. And, well, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one of these right again. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. All right? No financial instruments, no stuff from gurus, nothing. All right? No stocks, no options, no bonds, no Forex, no futures, no cryptos. Don't long them, don't short them, don't buy them, don't sell them. Don't do that stuff. Don't trade, all right? All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. I don't know how to, make it any more clear. So, if you desire that personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm not giving advice. I'm just sharing what I'm doing, and I'm just a dude that occasionally makes some crazy predictions. So, yeah, be careful, Chris. Yeah, it's pretty wild out here, and if you're going west, especially north, yeah, Goose even said the interstate through Iowa was shut down there for a little while. So, be careful going home for sure, for sure, for sure. And welcome everybody. So, if you want to chat with all of us, click the subscribe button over there on the other side, and a few seconds later, you can chat. And if you want to see this every single morning, the link is down below. Click the bell with the notifications, the doodads. Get all notifications. Turn that on. And if anything I say here today is helpful, give me a thumbs up. Interact with the video. Now, look at this. Look at this off of Bloomberg. Looky, looky. This is getting worse. This trend right here, concerning, very concerning for China. And the death rate. They actually had 9 million people born in 2023, but they had 11 million people die in 2023. That's a net negative of 2 million people. Their population is supposed to be growing, but that's not what the numbers are showing. Their population seems to have peaked and is on the way down somewhat rapidly. Now, if this trend continues, they could be in a population decline pretty rapidly. And not good for any kind of the China stocks. Not really good for cheap labor and worldwide economy either. This is a concerning trend. Now, they did experience some population loss last year, but this year has really ramped up. Now, is it on the back of COVID? Is it just the population trend? I mean, you can see the birth rate plummeting in the gray bars there. It's on a downtrend. It's probably going to continue down even faster. The death rate, it's I don't think it's an anomaly here for COVID. Maybe there's a few extra COVID deaths, but that seems to be a pretty nice slow ramp right there. China, I think we have a problem on your birth rate. Now, Rongamer's favorite guy, Elon, says this is a worldwide problem, population reduction. So, definitely something to keep an eye on. This could play out in many ways. And if we experience this here in the U.S., it's going to be a problem too, because we're getting those 10,000 baby boomer age people retiring a day, 10,000, 50 to 70,000 a week for the next, say, 15 years. And if we don't have more people coming in the bottom to be able to pay those obligations, those Social Security obligations, this is going to get to be a real problem really quickly. So, yeah, it was a warm 0 degrees this morning here in Knoxville. I know people throwing in the chat. Looks like we're up to amazing 3 degrees here. I think my emergency heat quit working last night. It's definitely in the 50s in the house this morning. A little bit cool. So, yeah. We'll see. If we get the next COVID, I mean, we could see, but obviously there's a problem in China population, and doesn't look good for growing all those economic numbers. Population, a lot of their growth based on that real estate, developing real estate. They have whole ghost towns right now that ghost cities that people never moved into. We all know the Evergrande stuff hiccuping last year, and maybe could be the unwind. We'll see what happens here. This is a threat hanging out there. The reason I'm mentioning this is a threat. And it's not necessarily like we're going to crash the market tomorrow situation. This is just something to be aware of. Like, if this problem keeps exasperating, keeps getting worse, it's gonna cause some problems. Now, is it this year? Is it next year? Is it 2026? I don't know. We'll see. But just need to keep an eye on population growth. Our whole, good, bad, or ugly, our whole economy is kind of based on growing the population. And if the population starts shrinking, we're going to have all sorts of problems. All right? There's going to be extra housing. Housing prices will plummet. Values of things will plummet. The whole basis of everything going up in value is that there's more people wanting less, a smaller amount of resources. Well, if all of a sudden we have less people wanting those resources, the prices aren't going to go up. Long term, asset values don't go up if there's less people needing the things. I mean, even if we dump tons of money in the market, it's a real problem. We can have, this thing. It's a slow moving train wreck, and I want to point that out. China. I mean, look at that slope. This problem started way before COVID. I mean, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I mean, we're not looking too, as I say, no bueno right there. No bueno. It looks like 2016 was kind of the peak and going down the toilet. So this, and really, their kind of absolute change kind of peaked all the way back here in the 80s. And been on a decline ever since. So, how's it going to play out? We'll see. But this looks like a slow-moving train wreck, and it could be a serious problem for China in the future. We're seeing that show up in the charts today. Some knee-jerk reaction. So, let's talk about it, shall we? VIX actually get a little bit of spike. This is VIX futures here. This looks a little different than the actual VIX chart that I have on the next one. This on the futures rollover, we saw a dump, and then we were seeing a pop, and this is a lower high so far. Where do we get? When we actually look at the VIX index, we actually have a climbing kind of channel here, reaching up, almost touching the roadmap line. So I was expecting a pop between 15 and 20, and that may be what we get here, as ES was kind of dumping off. We saw ES dumping off about 30, and if this head and shoulders plays out, we could see a dump down to the roadmap line. Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Now, looking at the S&P 500 simplistic chart, we're just churning in the range. We can drop all the way back down to this 4680 area very quickly and still just be churning in the range that we've been in since early December. right around the 12th. We popped up in this area, and we've just been churning it. All right? Just because we were up here at almost 4,800 doesn't mean that another trip down to 4,680 isn't just consolidating in this zone before we pop on higher. All right? We may see some little bit of freak out in the market, but we may not go anywhere big. So keep it in mind. We did drop out of the 80 zone on S5FI. Right here, we dropped below 80. I got my alert last night, and well, it was kind of while I was doing 30 minutes of awesome, and that's a long way to the bottom. I did point out that stocks above their 20-day moving average on the S&P was actually trying to reach down near the bottom. Now, this doesn't mean we don't see this pop up again, but a trip out the bottom might be where we're heading on stocks above the 20-day. Stocks above the 50-day tends to be more of an oscillator. We don't tend to, this one, we tend to pop down here, pop up near the middle, pop back down, pop near the middle, pop back down, pop up to the top. We see that pattern quite a bit, a lot more chop in the stocks above the 20-day, whereas stocks above the 50-day, S5FI, the one I typically have been watching. I just loaded up the 20-day just to kind of see what might be cooking, since it's a faster indicator. This one tends to oscillate between the top and the bottom. Sometimes we hang in the middle, but we tend to go to extreme, over and over and over. It takes a while sometimes. Sometimes we do get just consolidation in the middle. We go from extreme, chop, 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 to the extreme, to the extreme, to the extreme, to the extreme, chop a little, to the extreme, right back to the extreme. So anytime we bust out one way or the other, we tend to go visit the other extreme. So what does that indicate? Indicates that stocks above the 50-day moving average, S&P 500 stocks, we may be on the way down to visit the 20. We're 20%. So, yeah, I mean, Russell has been suffering, and Russell's way more bearish than S&P or NASDAQ. Russell peaked back here in December and hasn't really looked back. On the way down, probably coming down here to 1815. If we don't stop there, we're probably pushing on down. If we get below this zone right around 1750, we could very well go down to 1500. So that's Russell. When you look at ES, we're still hanging at the top. We have not even really started going down much. NQ, same sort of situation, but we do have a lower high. And we're kind of making this head and shoulders, little head and shoulders pattern here on the S&P. NASDAQ, not quite as clear, but you could still say it's more like a head, shoulder, head, potentially. This last move seems to be the bigger move, but that could push us down, and we could go retest that trend line that we had from back there, and started in the summer into the fall. We could go retest that even, and maybe that's the shoulder head, and this is the shoulder. Could be a even bigger pattern here. Now that I sit here and look at it, this could be the one on NQ right there. That head down to that neckline. It could take us right to the roadmap line. That would be interesting. So, just throwing it out there, just calling it as I see it. I'm trying to be somewhat unbiased. Oil. So that's the three major indexes. Why not chase the Dow? Because it's so manipulated and modified that I just don't trust it as any kind of measure of the market moving. Oil, still just inside consolidation. Inside this range we set from late December. Not really doing anything. Sideways is what I just expect more sideways at this point. There's the market open. And BTBT hitting some downside alerts. Baidu hitting downside alerts. Can't see I'm all that surprised. At the moment, with the China news, BTBT, just soft on Bitcoin. We're seeing that Bitcoin push on down. We'll talk about that in a moment. Gold showing some weakness. Looks like we're going to go down, at least test the roadmap line, if not get the extensions on down into here around 1970, possibly 1940. If we start breaking down even further, we could push down, but one thing at a time here, everybody. That's several layers of support we got to get through before we go that low. So don't freak out on gold yet. Probably just going to get a bounce down here. That's a corrective 1, 2. This will be the third wave down. I do kind of expect it to hang right around this roadmap line to the 1965 area, right in there, top of this oval. We could get down to the bottom, but let's not panic too much yet. All right, this is pretty strong support in here. We've bottomed in there several times. If we can find support and bounce, that's actually very bullish for going even higher on gold. Bitcoin, little bounce yesterday, little retrace today. It's just kind of chopping at the bottom of the range here. Not really anything too spectacular going on Bitcoin at the moment. If we pull this down to the bottom of the lows there, we're low. We're just kind of hanging right at the bottom here. Now, if we get a definitive close down here below this, looks like we're probably heading down to the roadmap line. I do kind of, somebody asked me yesterday, not one of the traders. This was somebody else I do, associate with, do business with. So what do you think, 40 or 50? Which one comes first, 40,000, 50,000? I said, based on that epic rally we had from like September, October, that giant ramp into the end of the year, there's Apple hitting the downside. And I kind of expect 40 to get tested before we see 50. Just being honest. I mean, we're only 42,000, so I do kind of expect a retrace. This move up has been pretty wicked, pretty relentless to the upside, and now we're pushing the bottom of the channel. If we get below that channel, watch out. Now, could it just do the thing Ethereum was doing, where we close out for a couple days and then we shoot higher? Entirely possible. Entirely possible. We test the bottom of that, really push down, buyers step in, and then we shoot higher. Entirely possible. All right, we're seeing a lot of rotation in the crypto space right now. Those new 11 ETFs soaking up a lot of money, and the fastest place for it to come from is from crypto miners. And that's what we're seeing, like BTBT. Not that that's a popular one with all the hedge funds and stuff, but look at that. I mean, that thing getting shorted the crap out of it, and needs to hold this area right here. Hopefully some buyers step in. If not, if we get below this zone right in here, we could see an extension back down below $2. Do I want to see that? No, but just being honest with you. And then Mara right there, probably coming back down to the roadmap line. We have support at 16, we have support at 14, and we have support down at 12. So this whole zone right here. And we did consolidate right there. So it would not surprise me to see it push right down into this consolidation zone. First move down, second move, third move. We did meet a lot of upside targets. So it would not surprise me one single bit. I mean, look at this right here. This move down, this retrace. We're pushing past the 100. We're probably at least going to hit the 1272, if not the 1618 down here at 12. All right, we're in for more pullback. That's the long and the short of it at this point. So be careful on that one. DXY, right up to the roadmap line. Are we going? We're at this point, we're probably going to test it fully, and there was the target zone, right in there. If we get through it, we get above it, we're probably going to come back up here where I talked about. Probably retest that where we found this bottom, and happens to be the 618, kind of in a logical place at this point. Right up there around 104.70, 74. If we find resistance there for going higher, we may turn down and make that lower low. This, funny enough, corresponds with the pullback in the market. And then if we turn down there, we may pull back in the market till we get up here, and then miraculously the market rallies and the dollar drops out. We'll see what happens. All right, VX, this is VIX futures. Looks like we're going to go on a tear, potentially hit the roadmap line. We could get that spike all the way up in the 20s if things get really little panicky today. So definitely seeing that pop. Today, I had some contracts expire yesterday, funny enough. Or I guess they expired at the open this morning. Always a day late or a day early, dollar short. Anyway, story of my trading life. It seems like sometimes time is the most difficult thing for me to predict. I've gotten really good at prices. Time, incredibly difficult. PI, nice little pop right there. Looks like we could be good for 95, possibly 100 on the upside. Getting a rejection of breaking out though, so that may retrace back down to this 87 level before we can push on higher to those levels. And in TRA, there was not a lot of stuff up today, so be very, very careful. It looks like we're going to see some pushes down in the market. This one kind of getting this megaphony pattern where we're got. Yeah, look, this kind of gives me a little bit of caution here. You see how these highs are getting higher and the lows are kind of, this is not the most bullish the way this overlaps. So a little bit cautious here because we can break down out of this kind of price action. The 70 would be 70 and 73 on the upside, but cautious there. We may see that break down violently. It gives me caution on that pattern right there. NT and X. Wow. I mean, for all the other things not performing, that one popped right up. Looks like we're due a retrace. It's kind of going a little bit parabolic, exponential. Usually we see that give it right back. So be careful on that one. Short Russell, ultra short. So this is not just, this is like leveraged and short. Russell getting a little pop today. You know, that one may pop right up to the roadmap line, right around 41. I don't know. Leverage stuff doesn't always follow the pattern, so be careful. And it's ultra short, so that's, you know, leveraged on a short. So Yang, there's 3x bears, leverage on a short. Look at that ramping off for the China stuff, and probably getting near some, near some extreme resistance. Watch out for that one to retrace. But China keeps being weak. Hey, watch it. Cold, right down to the roadmap line and bounce. We have resistance right up here. You'll have to ask me which ticker, Rob. I don't know which ticker I've already been through like 20 tickers, so you're lagging just a little bit off of, even though it doesn't seem like it. You're probably lagging off live. 97 would be resistance on cold. JT's cold right now, so I got my hoodie on, and that's ultra short natural gas. And got to go to the core NG1 exclamation points. Natural gas. Coming on down. I do kind of expect this to go back down to $2. All the bomb cyclone stuff, giving it up. We may see this drop on down. And spot. Right there. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be the final high. We may retrace back down to this 181 before we get up there. So in general, time frame for a pullback, whatever length of time it took. So if we're looking for this, you know, the pullback could be 3 times that long. If we're looking for how long might this take, in general, my rule of thumb, 3 times whatever pullback. You know, that one took a couple of months, 3 times that long. Obviously, that took, you know, from August, September, October, November, December, January, February. I mean, 6 months, you know, 2-month pullback, 6 months. I mean, that kind of worked. So the run, usually 3 times whatever pullback. Or the pullback 3 times, you know, I give it 3 times whatever the run was. So it's kind of my rule of thumb on these things. Pullbacks usually happen faster, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just consolidate and go sideways for a good long time. And another way you can do it, though, that move right over there. Look at prior moves about the same size that you expect. So maybe out to February, give it a little extra time, March. So there you go. Yeah. That's my rule of threes. So 3 times longer than whatever. Tesla keeps pushing down and down. We get below that 206 area. Probably coming on down here. Coming on down. Been expecting that 180 for a long time. Almost shoot, since back here in July. Come on down, Tesla. I am long TSLS and TSLQ. So we'll see if we can get down there. SMCI made, it looks like we made a nominal higher high on some choppy garbage. Really choppy garbage. Watch out for that one. That could be showing it's the end. Hey, you haven't even been up and seen what I got going in the kitchen, babe. You gotta go in there and see. Got a little boost heat going on. Anyway, PDD. Look at that China stuff coming back down to the roadmap line. We're either gonna turn sideways till we get there, or watch out for a fast retrace to the roadmap line. FNGU. 3x leverage ETN on Fang. Came up shy on that 255. Lower high. We may go down to the roadmap line. This is a leveraged thing, so while the targets have been kind of working, remember, leverage stuff is not always the way this plays out. So be freaking careful. Be freaking careful. Baidu breaking down. Probably heading right down here to the 92 area. Finding support. We'll see. Kind of wrecking my setup there. I'm not really going to bail on my position until we get below this zone. That's kind of the last straw for me. We get below there, we did fire off an alert. So if we get below this, watch out. We could go all the way down to this 50 area. That'd be pretty devastating on Baidu for going higher at this point if we did that. So watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. We had some alerts. Let's see, what else do we have? Apple. Let's go look at Apple. Apple. Whoop, AAPL. On my laptop, don't have my normal desktop setup going because there's still a foot of snow outside. It didn't really melt off at all yesterday. Had a little bit of sun, melted some roads, but then it all refroze last night when it was like 1 degree outside. So Apple pushing into the roadmap line. If we get below this zone in here, watch out for that. All right, this looks kind of corrective. And there was opportunity if this breaks above 95 that we're going to get the extension up to 205, 211 area, 204, 210. So far, this was corrective down. This was kind of corrective up. Made a nominal higher high, but that doesn't mean anything in a flat. We can return to lows or extend even lower here. 159, kind of that target area. And we could push all the way down in the 150 area. Entirely possible. That whole target area right there is the most likely spot if we're going to break down. Definitely cautious right now. Definitely cautious. Oh, I guess Apple was actually on the list down there. So, popping back up. SEDG. Look at that. Pushing back down. If we get below this low right over here. Going on down. Didn't even make it. It tried. Couldn't fill the gap. If we break down below that, shoot, I don't even know. Could be pretty bad for SEDG. Can't even get it to do the chart right here. There we go. We could see a wicked extension lower. 56, 47, somewhere in there. All right, cat. Let's see. Let's mute that tab. Oh, can't even. There we go. Mute it. And 1, 2, 3. That cat could actually be bottoming here. It's 1272. If this breaks out, this actually indicates we're probably going higher in the market. Ultimately, it's kind of like the canary leading the coal mine, I guess you might say. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. 1, 2, 3. May come deeper. If we start turning and burning though, 305, 313, maybe some bigger targets, 311, 335 up here. Coin. Yeah, wronger. Ray asking if those EVs hold their charge. I don't have one, so I can't tell you. Coin looks like we're coming back to the roadmap line. I start getting more interested in rebuilding a position down here, 120, maybe 100, 110. Got my alerts set. I'll have to think about it if we overlap this high. So if we overlap this, I'll have to really start evaluating whether I want to be involved in that or not. If we hold right up here at 120 and turn, it's a lot better in my book. But I'm not opposed to. I'm not like 6-1. We got to make it all the way down to 100 probably. This gets to be a gray area if we start overlapping, and I'm gonna have to really sit down and evaluate where coin is, because it could go deeper, retrace back down into the 70 area. So, despite it being the fiduciary for a lot of these new spot ETFs, Coinbase, like 8 out of 11 of them, right there. It's going to take some time before they start making big money off of that stuff. So DPST, yeah, we're seeing some just retrace there. NTES, looks like we're headed down to the target zone, right around 73. I mean, we can stop anywhere in here, but I think we're going to hit in this target zone. This target zone could come on over. Time there, Rob, time's the hardest part of this whole big thing. So, EMPH, I do a lot better on targets to the upside with time. Targets to the downside with time, God, things can stay irrationally higher before they correct out. EMPH, if we get below this zone right around 91, watch out for that 63 down there. Support zone. Right in here. Come on. Square box. There we go. Support zone right around there. If we get below that, watch out below. FSLR. Boy, that's gnarly. That's gnarly. 1, 2, 3, right up into the high. For all the in-person people, that's classic right there. Classic correction. Look at that one. That's a zigzag. Pushing down below. 118. Extension lower. It'd be debatable whether it overlapped that first move down. This could be an impulsive move down. Excuse me. EDU. Looks like we're coming back to the roadmap line sooner or later. CRWD. And that's definitely starting to look a little played out. We could ramp on up to this 350 area. That went kind of exponential. Probably going to correct it back down. We'll see. I don't have any strong conviction here. There's no strong setup or play there. We're getting up near that prior high. Do we reject it for now, or do we break on out and push higher? The bigger time frame pattern, probably bigger than that. Yeah, it's on a monthly, it looks like. Yeah, we don't even have the full roadmap line. Looks like we're set to go higher, but how long will it take? This correction took several months, over a year. So this could take a couple years to get up in the targets. Yeah. Not sure on this, on the short term. Doing these little pullbacks, we could do another little pullback and then get energy to go higher. Just unclear on CRWD right now till the market kind of settles out. 80 to even 90% of the stuff in the market tends to go with whatever direction the S&P is going. So IBKR, little mini roadmap retrace, the roadmap line kind of flat. If you want the roadmap line, link is in the description. Click the more button down below, and it's like $5. You put it on your chart with one easy button, one click, right on the trading view. If you want the code for other platforms, super easy. I got a video that even tells you the EMAs that are involved. I can't teach you how to build it into an orange line on every platform, but you can easily turn on the two EMAs that makes up that right there. So right there looks like we may be going down. That 1, 2, 3, three-wave corrective. This may actually be set up to go down further. Let's see. Let's check a couple things. That would be the target. High to low. Stopping at the zone where we have the resistance zone. Right there. And we may see this push on down, lower. Be careful. I'm not convinced that one's going higher for now. That's a big bunch of sideways consolidation gook, and we may see that consolidate lower. IWM, of course, gap down pretty severely. Are we going to get a retrace? I don't know. Today, that feels like we're reaching down for that roadmap line. Not so sure we're going to get a retrace today. Could we? Could we gap fill? Sure. We reach up there, fill the gap, and keep on trucking. So, caution. Caution on that one. ETN. Eaton. That was a nice extension there. Nice extension. Marginal higher high. May retrace to the roadmap line. Getting a lot of these lately where we just get a marginal higher high. Like Apple was one of those. Coming up in a couple. Where we got a marginal higher high and then retraced it back down right there. So mRNA. Still bearish. Pushing below the roadmap line. We've got support though. Support right down here around this zone. It's not really super bearish until we get below that zone. We seem to be rejecting, but there's always the possibility that we save it and go higher. Find support down here around that gap, and we did gap right over there. So we could come down, test that zone, and actually bounce higher. So be careful chasing shorts right now. Be careful. Good morning, Larry. Glad to see you. UPS is bounced off the roadmap line. Get below this zone. I do kind of expect it to retrace at least to 144. We get below that zone though, 126. Pretty simple. That one's much more simple than some of the other ones there. WYNN, WYNN, Whiskey, Yankee, November. Three-wave right up into the roadmap. Looks almost like mRNA. We've got a support zone right in here. We get below that. Could see a move down to 78-ish. Snow. Rejected the zone. If we break back down, watch out for a deep retrace. Met the resistance zone and have not been able to get through it so far. May just consolidate in this zone for a while before we can pop it on out. EL. Estee Lauder turning down at the roadmap line. Didn't even quite make it all the way up there. Didn't quite make it. Looks like we're going to go on down. Looks like. Let's see. We're on the fibs. Got the support zone right in here. We get below that. Watch out for the extension down in the 90s. If we can turn up here, resistance at the roadmap line. Right up in there. And if we get above that, we can build something more bullish. But right now, this has been a pretty long-term downtrend here. Turned down with the market, and this one hasn't turned around yet. Well, the market turned around back here. Estee Lauder been crushing it on lower. So something's not too good here. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't turn into a dumpster fire. I mean, that's pretty bad so far. Right now, I don't want to get involved until we're above the roadmap line, like solidly, especially with this and this breakdown over here. DEO, going lower. Bottom of the support down at 128. JPM, money flowed into financials ahead of earnings. Now it flows out back to the roadmap line. We already covered NQ, and it's nothing new. It's going down. Probably going to correct. Big head and shoulders. Bulls probably coming down to the roadmap line. CWEB. There's a leveraged China bulls. Hit the first target. 19's the next extension. Yeah. Somebody drew a big arrow over here when we broke down. Imagine that. See, this is why it's so difficult, Rob, to predict time. Look how long this is taking. Kind of expected it to go quick. No. Yeah, that was October. Now we're here at January. Could be February or March before we actually get down to this target zone down here. Funny enough, I mean, looks like I'm going to get another one right. I just get lucky so many times when I draw crap like this. I don't know. Surprise myself all the time. Drew that back there, and if we hit it down here, I mean, I'm actually going to put an alert. I just want to know. I want to know if we hit that zone. I'd be, I didn't trade it, but, you know, that's leverage in China, and I mean, that's like two dings off my list of 4 things I don't like to trade. So, China and leverage. You know, those that watch me, I trade leverage all the time. I just, you know, they don't follow the patterns. So, ALB continues to be a downward march. Didn't even get to the roadmap line. Overarching, probably going to go below 100 would be my guess on Marble. Anyway, bias for the day. Back down to at least these lows. You know, we started out on the simple chart. Back down to the bottom of the box. Support right there around 46.80. If we start getting below that, then we could look down to the roadmap line. Yeah, we will have support at that breakout right there, right around 45.80. That's another 100 points down after we get below the lows from back here in early January. And we get below that roadmap line. So back down around the 44.80, possibly as low as 4,400. If I'm completely honest with you all, right now, we could see a bigger, deeper retrace at this point. Right around that 4,400, right where those two 618s, 618 from that move and that move, they kind of line up right there. And it would not surprise me one little bit to see a move down into this zone right in there. So we've got support here, then we've got support here, wherever that roadmap line is when we get there, and then we got support down here. Oh, moving fibs instead of moving. So right there. Do kind of expect us to hold that at the, I mean, if we get down there, we're probably due for a big bounce. Do I think we're getting there today? Probably not. We may get here today if things get a little panicky. We'll probably just get to the bottom of the consolidation, the recent consolidation. Zoom up on the 30 minutes. Probably just get back to the bottom of this stuff. Like, December, January, the lows of the year so far. So if we start getting below this box, set your alerts. I'll set my alert. Start getting below that, we can accelerate down here to this 46, 4,600 really. Yeah, 4607 area. Yeah, it's a little different on the simplified chart versus the daily closes. So don't get too confused. The daily closes just simplified, and yeah, it's posted a bunch of times in Discord. If you want it, Ray, I know you're in there. Um, I don't have it handy because I'm on my home computer. I'm snowed in. I don't have all. I can't just throw them up there really quickly. I'm on limited access and abilities right now. I just instead of having like 12 screens, I've got my one laptop. So sorry that I can't provide the normal level of service. Hopefully, I can get out of here late today or maybe tomorrow. So I'll try to get my level of service ramped back up. If I said anything that was helpful today, though, give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Share, and we'll see if I get some more predictions right in the market here. Been looking for this pullback for, gosh darn, I mean, after we did these gaps up and stuff, this was getting a little ridiculous. I kind of want to see a bigger, deeper retrace. Flush this thing out so we can go higher in the market. I mean, kind of sucks short term, but long term, we can see much higher prices and better opportunities. We need some pullbacks, need some flush out. So have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll be back live again. Same bad time, same bad channel, right here on Jeffrey Turnmeyer Trading. Give me a thumbs up. If you liked anything I said, give me that like. I appreciate it. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now, everybody.